Hello, Taurus. Thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, I'm using the Animal Wisdom Tarot by Don Brunk, illustrated by Ola Leola. It's by CICO Books. There's a website for them, cicobooks.com. So if you want to find that stuff, that's where to find that stuff. Supportive Oracle Cards, Magical Spell Cards by Lucy Cavendish, illustrated by Jesse Reish. Why can I not get this grudgy stuff off here? No matter what I do, I swear it just ends up coming back every time. Alright, I'm over it. Not really, but we'll pretend. Jesse Reish, there's how you spell Jesse Reish's name. Now that I've had like my little moment about it. Anyway, let's go into Taurus. Snap, snap, snap. Loud card snaps. Where are we going with it? I want to know what that's about. Ooh, that's a fun one. That's actually a positive card for you, I think. We'll find out in a minute. Starting off is a card. Like the way this starts off to me is almost kind of like, well, that's Taurus. That's obviously Taurus, which is organization, and the Six of Shells, which is the Six of Cups, which talks about history. You form your plans through what you've already done. You look at what other people have, or you look at what other people have done, and you build from there. Like you don't just kind of go, oh, let me just pull something out of the sky and just. You wouldn't like just go to the grocery store and be like, I want to make an apple pie. So I know apples are in there. I like those apples. Those apples work. I'm sure you use flour with that. Probably some lard. I could use butter. I'll use lard. I think people use lard. I'm sure there's sugar in it. So let me get some of that. There's probably eggs in that too. Like you wouldn't go and like say this is probably in there, that's probably in there, and then just kind of like wing it. You know what I mean? That's not Taurus. Taurus is like, all right, I've looked at the recipes other people do, and they use the Granny Smith's apples, so I want some of those apples. And then they put some cinnamon in it, and they use this other stuff. They use some cornstarch maybe to thicken this up, and they actually put that together, and they peel the apples. And the pie crust, I could do the pie crust this way, and I have to make sure I make that little well in the center, put the egg in there with all the stuff. Like you've looked and seen how other people have done it, and you build from there. That's what I'm saying with this. Like you if you don't have your own history to learn from, you try to find somebody else's to learn from. That's so like obvious with like Taurus. Like it's funny that it's there to me. It's kind of like yeah, it's Taurus 101. Like like that's Taurus. You got the romance here. The romance here, it's funny, I'm suspicious of this all of a sudden. Because you might be pulling on somebody else's experience. But I almost feel like they're filling in blanks that they don't have answers to, as if it's experience when it's not. Kind of like, oh yeah, I've made that pie before. You're going to need some of this, cream of tartar stuff. You're going to need some of that, and you're going to need some Ritz crackers. You're definitely going to need that. And they might be like crossing recipes, kind of like when you make Ritz cracker pie, which is called mock apple pie, if you ever look that up. There's no actual apples in it, but it tastes like apple pie. And they might be like cross-referencing, or like they might not. I don't think they have the history. I don't think they really have the experience that they're kind of playing off they do. It's weird because this is a good card, and they're very excited, and they believe in what they're telling you, but that might be how they are. I don't know. I got Harvest and True Love Come to Me. Whatever they're telling you, see, this is why we're saying this. I get it. You might be using some of their history and building a plan from their history. Like, oh, okay, you've done that before, so we know it works. I'll do it. They haven't done that before. They think that's how it's done. I think that's where we're going to have a snafu with this. Because you're all in. When it starts, you believe in them. Harvest, let's make this happen. Let's harvest the plan. I said this for Virgo, I think, in Virgo's read this time. We're harvesting the plan. I'm all excited about it. You're all excited about it. I'm noticing the two hearts here. Doesn't have to do anything with love. Doesn't have to. It could. But they're like, let's go ahead and do this. And you're like, yeah, let's do it. I'm all in. I'm all in. I don't think you're questioning them. I don't. Kind of like, oh, they said they've done it. Okay, then they've done it. They said we need this, then I'll get this. Okay, let's do it. And they might be looking at it the same way, kind of like, well, it's a pie. If it doesn't come out right, it's a pie. Who cares? But that's not kind of how Taurus rolls. The Taurus is kind of like, it may be just a pie to you, but I was excited and I had plans for that pie. I was intending to enjoy it. I don't just waste a couple hours of my time just to end up with a bowl of crap. If I'm making that pie, I'm expecting to enjoy it or to put it somewhere for somebody else to enjoy. So Taurus doesn't roll like that. They don't waste their time. It may seem minimal to this person, but that's not how Taurus rolls. I'm a little nervous about this now. Harmony, face down. Harmony, face down. The situation, is it going well or not? You got the Seven of Feathers. That's the Seven of Swords. That's usually somebody like, running for the hills and kind of like not taking responsibility. They're trying to stay in good graces with you. This is really messed up a little bit. Hold on. Because what I think is happening is like the jig is up. And they realize like as they're putting the pie together and they're like, uh-oh, this isn't working out. And then they're looking up the history and they're asking somebody like, I thought you said cream of tartar is in apple pie. Cream of tartar is in mock apple pie. Not making mock apple pie. Okay. Oops. Ease. And I think somebody's like ditching out. Like the harmony face down is like, it's almost like they think if they just kind of like skulk away or just kind of disappear, it's kind of like, I need to go help somebody real quick. I'll be right back. Gone. Like it's just like they're gone. Whatever it is, we're using the apple pie analogy here, but it's like you're cutting the apples, they're getting the pie crust together, and then they're like, wait a minute, where does the cream of tartar go in? They go find the reference and like, I don't know what I'm doing. Gotta go. I gotta go do this. I'm sorry. And they just kind of like leave. Because I'm getting the passion with the Seven of Feathers, Seven of Swords, the magpie. Like they're just kind of like stealing away. They're just kind of like they're taking a hard left. Like, oh, gotta go. Did this? Whoops. Gotta go. Did that wrong. Gotta go. This explains your card very, 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 very well. Because I'm like, I wondered when I saw this, like, why is that there? Maybe that's a good card. Because it talks about Capricorn, but not in this situation. You got the goat, all right? The goat, shadow god of liberation. It's card number 15, also known as the devil, which is Capricorn's card. Capricorn is a compatible energy to Taurus. It's true. But I'm getting, like, you're kind of left there holding the bag, and you quickly figure out why. Because I feel like you're like, where's the recipe? Wait, and you call somebody else and you're asking them the same questions. Like, there's cream of tartar here, and they're starting to make the pie crust. They didn't really add it. How much is supposed to go in? And somebody else is going, what do you mean? You don't put cream of tartar in pie crust. Oh, then why do they have it? I don't know, but I don't put cream of tartar in my apple pies, so I don't know why that's there. So it's almost like you're quickly figuring out, like, they didn't know what they were doing. It doesn't take much for you to figure it out, is what I'm getting. Kind of like, oh, because I feel like you're getting a second reference, because like they ditch out on you. They literally ditch out on you. You're like, well, I need somebody else to tell me how I'm supposed to do this. And it's kind of like you're contacting somebody else who knows the same stuff. And you're like, here, I gathered all the things, and you're listing off the things. And they're like, why do you have this, that, and the other thing? Like, what does that have to do with an apple pie? And you're like, I don't know. The other person that said they knew what they were doing told me I had to have them. And they're like, well, I don't use that when I make an apple pie. Here's what I do. And here's what I would need. And I feel like it might be coming together anyway. It comes together enough. I don't know if it's like last minute thing and somebody has to help you out and somebody brings in some extra reinforcements. It does seem to work out. But the devil card here, which is the goat here, the devil card, it really is. They even did the eyes correctly with that rectangle thing. Knowledge, and you're getting, somebody's helping you. The knowledge is coming to you. You're pulling it together. That energy of the goat, though, the devil energy, is like, you're not really impressed by this, but you're like, this will work out. It's kind of like, before I get mad, this will work out. And you're just like, I'm going to have a pie. The pie will happen. And somebody's helping you make it happen. And you're just like, I'm gonna pull this together anyway. and you've decided you will. You've decided you will, and you do. It's kind of like, all right, this is not right, but I'm not getting mad. I'm just going to make it work. That's what I've decided I'm going to do. The Six of Wands and good cheer are happening in the environment. I think this is not about the other person. I think this is because you're succeeding in this situation, because the Six of Wands is success, good cheer. You've decided that pie was going to happen, and when all is said and done, it didn't work out to plan, but you did get your goal. You did what you wanted. It's still good, but it's kind of like, just because it worked out doesn't mean you're okay with it. I don't know if that makes sense. It's kind of like, okay, all right, because I feel like I'm annoyed, but I'm happy. I'm like, I got my pie, and I'm thankful for my pie, but still, that's that little itching in the back of my head, kind of like, this didn't work out the way it was supposed to, and I'm kind of annoyed at somebody, because I'm still feeling that energy. This person tries to come forward again. Are they crazy? Alright, let's see what's going on with that. Because I feel like when you got your pie, all is said and done, they just kind of disappear. You enjoy your pie, but you're not going to forget that. Like, there's no way you're going to forget that. This person comes at you again with the Three of Pentacles. They want to work with you again. Like destiny is saying, they're set up to come back towards you. It's kind of like the universe is railroading the two of you back together. There's something that has to come out of this situation, and they're coming back towards you. Now, when they come back towards you and there's a new situation, like, hey, we're getting together and we're going to do this for this bazaar. We're going to start making this for this bazaar. We were thinking you'd be a great addition to it. You want to work with me on this? And I feel like for some reason you're like, you agree to this, but you got glamour. It may be the person. It may be like, this almost reminds me of like having a relative or a friend that you really do like. And it's kind of like, all right, I see their shortcomings. I see where they screw up. I'm just going to make sure I'm prepared for it next time. Next time I ask them how to do something and they tell me, I'm going to double check and make sure they actually do know what they're talking about. I'm not just going to go on their word. I'm getting glamour, kind of like you're not... I don't see you calling them out. I don't see you telling them no. Like, I see you working with them again, but I feel like you're kind of like, well, we got 4 cards are explaining it. Let's see. You got the Raven, which is kind of like the Magician. You're making it happen. 7 of Branches holding the line. So let's start with these two. This next situation, you're forming it, and you are holding this person's feet to the fire. I don't think it's mean, but it's kind of like if they're saying, well, this is how you do this. This is how I've done it before. Oh, really? You've done it that way before? Great. Do you have pictures and stuff of that? Like, who else helped you? Like, can you show me, like, show me the outcome result? Like, oh, you don't have that. Okay. So whenever they tell you something, if they don't have pictures and proof that they really did do it, you're finding other people to reference, and like, so and so is telling me this is how you do that. Is that how you do that? And they're like, well, this is how I did it. And you're like, okay. If they don't have proof, you're holding them to that. I feel like they're very quickly, very fast. It's coming forward. Like anything that they're telling you, they know how to do. They're going to need to have some sort of proof, either the item itself, pictures, somebody else's word of mouth, somebody else backing them up, saying, "Oh yeah, this is how we did it." That seems to be like, I don't see any, like, it doesn't seem like there's aggressive energy there. Just kind of like, oh, you know how to do that? Great, I'd love to see the pictures. Or yeah, oh, I'd like to see how that come. Who helped you do that? Oh, great, maybe they can help us too. Like, you're just kind of like forcing the issue. Like, they're gonna need to prove it. It's not mean though. It's just kind of like you're making it very positive, is what I'm getting. I'm getting Justice with the Parrot. The Parrot's a very curious energy. It's the Page of Swords. They know that you're keeping an eye on them. They know they screwed that up. They also know you didn't call them out on that. In the same token, they know that they should have been called out on that, and they weren't. So anytime you like question them or kind of push back, like, oh great, let me see the pictures that you did that. Like they're not gonna they're not gonna squawk about it. They're not gonna buck back. They're not gonna squawk about it. They're like, okay, yeah, that's fair. They're also realizing that anything they're gonna say that you're gonna want that proof, and they're gonna have to find a way to show you. I think that's the justice. They know that they're kind of being tested on it. Well, I don't even want to say tested. They're going to be like, you're going to be watching them like a hawk. I know it's a parrot, but you're going to be watching them like a hawk, and you'll be like, don't step out of line. Don't play with me. Don't tell me you know what you're doing when you don't know what you're doing. I don't waste my time. Taurus does not waste their time. That's the justice. I think that's cool. I think, yeah. Because I feel like this could be a learning experience for this person. At the very least, they'll learn, like, don't play that game with you. At the very least. Hopefully they're going to realize that, maybe that's not the best thing to do with anybody. But that's how I see this working out. Alright, I think we're there. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope this helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com. That's James the number 4, astral@gmail.com. Thank you.